and I'm ready.
Ooh, let's get it, baby. We got some great bangers coming up today. We went down into the elimination bracket, and we have a hell of a matchup to start this one. I'm a personal fan of this Gunplexion roster because of one player I want to keep my eye out on in this game, Tony, is Kid Nasty. Not a lot of players know about him. He's a Vegas local. I've been landing with this guy for about a year now, and he's just been getting better and better. And I think he's finally found a roster where he can really show his stuff off.
Yeah, you've been telling me that this kid is absolutely nasty as he gets himself a nasty double kill there, and I love the team that he's playing with. Gunplexion, ton of talent. Maybe, maybe the mental, he gets a little rough around the edges, gets a little angry, but the talent is definitely there. And then you have Seven, who's a young gun in the scene, so I'm really happy with this Lies roster. Then on the That's Dark, you have Piles, its name formerly of Oxygen Esports, Bid Teaches, who's been around that second half of Halo 3 for quite a bit, and then Parzelli, who I know he was teaming a little bit with Mental for a bit. I think at one point he was playing Call of Duty, one of the Call of Duty pros that came over. So excited to see what's up with That's Dark as Lions have a big lead here in Hill number 1.
Right, I feel like this is a team of like familiar and up-and-comers on both sides, right? Bid Teaches this player that had some explosive results last season, but never got the land results or that next level that they were looking for. Never got those stipends this year. Trying to change it, and this overshield's going to be a big help towards that. He's breaking into the tower. He's breaking backs. 1, 2, make it potentially 3. Bid's going for it all. Nasty gets the trade though. Oh my, what a play at the back of tower.
Surprised Bid Teaches still got the melee on that one. Didn't quite get the ninja, but the trade good enough there as that hill's glowing red. That's Dark taking over. Gunplexion trying to get closer, but Parzelli able to stop him short real quick. It's a 1-0 lead in favor of Lies right now, but so far the second hill was all That's Dark. The setup is locked in, and Lies are having trouble breaking it.
This is important for Evan. How is he going to get up into this fight? He tries to repulse up, and Tony, I think that's a little bit of the inexperience coming in with this roster. You got to wait for that coordinated effort, get in at the same time, a little bit of a desperation push, and it's going to lead to this game getting tied on up, as now it's the fight for the third rotation.
And not only is That's Dark able to take that second hill, but they already even have forces advancing here over towards this A side hill. So Lies trying to set up, but so far they're getting beat to the punch. Heat wave coming in. 3 quickly go down for Lies. That's Dark have cleared out the A side literally right after taking over the C side of the map, and now they're set up once again. Lies looking for their first kill in the break.
Yeah, that's a flip of the script right there, Tony. Usually when you get Hill 2, it's pretty tough to break into that third rotation, but That's Dark just blew through the doors, got 3 down, gets the hill, and have the power weapons to work with as well, and they're able to get the kill towards Overshield. Everything is going right as the Slays just keep going in their favor, but finally Lies able to break in, but Bid Teaches does a great job. He shows that sometimes you don't have to get the damage in. It's about staying alive, buying time, as they're gonna let his teammates get the job done. 4 go down, and this hill looking more and more likely to head to That's Dark.
Truth be told, Lies get wiped there, and now that's going to be a 2-1 lead coming out of That's Dark. And once again, That's Dark not only able to take over Hill, but already pushing on to that next one. Name losing his overshield, but still advancing forward over toward the seaside. Repulse is right behind enemy lines, able to take down one, goes after the second one. Shots are ringing out, tagging him up left and right. Finally, Name goes down, but the damage been done, and That's Dark still somehow find himself within the hill.
Heavy damages those days. He's able to dodge them. Looking like Neo from the Matrix. Nothing could take Evan down. And he's looking to be that point of contact for his team. Unfortunately, the spike grenades proved to be too much. He heads down, and the pill is broken once again. And that's where I think Lies' problem lies, Tony, is that they haven't really been able to play a strong defensive game. We've seen That's Dark constantly push in, get 3 or 4 down before there's really a reaction, and then they get a strong hold on this hill. and it's making it a very tough break every time for Lies.
But 4 members up for Lies as they need to get that first kill, and looks like it's gonna fall. Kid Nasty able to take down Name Nexi. Excellent shots onto Parzelli, gonna force him to back out and get out of the play for just a moment. And as Overshield is coming up, every bit of health matters, and once again That's Dark are able to bounce right back, so Overshield should find them hands. And A-Spawn coming out of Lies. Gunplexion gets the first one, but somehow That's Dark put their third on the board. And of course Bid Teach is teaching you that you gotta grab these Overshields. The sandbox so important here in Halo Infinite.
Yeah, he's going to be able to just put his body in this hill. I'd like to see him push forward and even try to get those 3 kills. Instead, he's going to play his life in this hill, and he's going to try to get both these players opportunity strikes. Nexi able to stay alive. Bid not going to be able to clean that one as we see the back door being broken open by Lies. But hey, Bid teaches. He says it might not be breakfast no more, but he's serving up pancakes left and right. And while he's ready to get ready to heat wave the rest of this team, Name picks up 2. This has been phenomenal from that start.
See, that's where you're wrong, Tools. Let me tell you something. I can have pancakes anytime during the day. Morning, noon, afternoon, midnight snack. Let me tell you, breakfast food is for any time. Half the progression of this hill already almost being taken here by That's Dark. Its Name gonna bounce right back over towards this hill. Nexi forced to back down. His Name chases him off of his yard. Parzelli holding up the tower side. Lies have to take out Parzelli. Looks like they're able to trade there, but That's Dark is still in the hill. Something has to change here for Lies, otherwise game number 1 is gonna get real dark.
Name trying to finish this one off. They're out of the hill, but Bid's back in. Bid goes down. It's the last player, Parzelli, who's trying to finish it. Parzelli wins the fight. No one from Lies has position to fight right away. That's game. And it was a pretty convincing one from That's Dark. It was a great open from Lies, right, Tony? But then we saw a bit more of that consistent slaying prowess push through. We saw more consistent rotations. We saw better setups and just a better one game from That's Dark.
Yeah, That's Dark clearly had a plan of attack, and it worked perfectly and whatnot. They had a step A, a step 1, step 2, step 3, set up around the hill, get that max progression while taking over that hill, having forces advance forward to apply pressure towards that next one. There was so many opportunities that Lies would lose a hill and have the opportunity to rotate back and set up for the next one, but I mean, they just never got to. The pressure was just too much. They weren't winning those individual gunfights. They never got their feet planted, and that's the reason why That's Dark going up 1-0 in this series. Will this be 2-0 though?
That's the tough one, right? Because Slayers, it has a lot more parity to it, right? There's not going to be this consistent through line that you're going to see between teams. Anything can happen in a Slayer, right? When there's no objective to focus the gameplay around other than slays, you're going to see a lot more sneaky routes. You're going to be able to see players playing a little bit more unorthodox, and it leads to, I don't want to say more randomness, but it leads to more explosivity. It's going to lead to a lot more unique plays that are harder to plan for, and I think it leads to a lot of times what people consider the quote-unquote worst team or the lower seeded team usually has a better chance than the Slayers. I think so often it's hard to be a good Slayer team, but when teams can be very good at the objective and then also pair that up with being incredibly well-oiled in the Slayers, a team like Optic Gaming, right? That's why they're able to win championships. I think championships are truly won on the Slayers sometime. Optic Gaming didn't drop a Slayer at Charlotte during that grand finals. I think it was the big difference maker. I think a lot of teams need to be looking at that blueprint of how to play Slayer and start copying it into their game. 2 amateur teams trying to get better. I think these are the games that make the difference for them.
Well, now it's gonna find out, can Lies bring Dark to the light here in game number 2? Of course, we're taking it to the pit. And right off the rip, That's Dark taking over everything. Rocket Sniper almost getting the overshield as well, and starting off with a 3-1 lead as Bid Teaches taking over the tower side of the map, firing a couple of warning shots, and the nades come in, but teamwork makes the dream work here in Halo Infinite, and it looks like he's going to be shredded off. Lies able to defend their base, clear out, and now they have the opportunity to turn that defense into offense as That's Dark is 3 down, and Lies are pushing forward.
Yeah, great counterattack opportunity from Lies. Everything went wrong off the start, right? The Rockets got so many kills, but then the instant answer, get both the snipers back in your hand, push forward, and Kid Nasty really leading that charge and his team swarming behind him. So although they lose that opening start in an emphatic way, the response was perfect from Lies, and now they're looking at keeping that start frustrated in the back base.
Love that by Piles putting shots onto one player, then immediately keeping his eyes on the long haul side, knowing that that's the immediate threat. Putting damage onto multiple players before going down, and even bringing out the pink miss. You know I'm a fan of that, and just like that, we are tied up at 10 apiece. Parzelli with the heat wave in hands wants to push up right through the green side, not quite in that heat wave range. Both players down to one shot, but the bait and switch comes in. Lies end up going 2 down. Parzelli is now infiltrated Lies' base a little bit here. Early lead for That's Dark, but they're not done yet. Players coming up on both sides here. Which one will That's Dark focus on?
All right, for me, if you're That's Dark, you need to focus on keeping these 2 players trapped in this back base. Don't let them get anywhere. Let those 2 players straggle in the back. And so far, they've done an effective job at that, right? Kid Nasty and 7, although they have control of the opponent base, there's no one to kill back there. And as long as that starts just aware, they can keep cycling Gunplexion and Nexi. And Gunplexion and Nexi, we need help, right? They're taking so much damage, but there's no pressure coming through. Lies need to finish this collapse. They have players from the back, right? They can get a flank in, but Gunplexion and Nexi keep seeing the respawn screen. Finally, Kid Nasty shows up. He's gonna be able to get 2. He's trying to clear his base, but was the damage too much to handle?
Beautiful stick by 7 to trade out his life there, putting the second kill on the board right as Rockets and Overshield are coming up. Gunplexion winning a pivotal battle against Parzelli. That's going to earn himself this rocket launcher while Overshield still being fought for here. He wants to bring the Rockets to the fight off screen. His name gets himself a nasty double kill. The first one comes in, and somehow the melee not going to be enough to take down Name. Gunplexion ends up going down, and there's 1 rocket left in the chamber. 7 says thank you very much. I'll pick up where you left off. Piles using that wall perfectly as cover, and it looks like Gunplexion a little bit of trouble here. A bit of a fight as it's just a 2-kill game here on the pit.
All right, we'll take down Name, but Name getting some value out of his life right there, getting a kill that he should not have gotten, and that's where Lies need to clean it up a little bit. That's Dark. When they start losing numbers, they've been able to take 1-2 players down with them, and it's kept them at this lead that we see now. Parzelli really has the chance to light up this feed, hit some big snipe shots, and get his team back into this base. Start with Nexi. Here we go. The second just to the left. Tries to clean it back up. Not going to be able to get those kills. But yeah, you love to see the sniper and the impact he can have. Oh, what an angle, Tony.
It's not a delivery, it's a Parzelli with the sniper rifle. Lining up yet another one. Headshot after headshot. This young man is absolutely going off. Half the members of Lies on the black screen, the other half were able to overwhelm Parzelli over toward the sword side of the map. Luckily, they got that sniper out of his hands because things were getting dangerous.
I love these new phase sniper skins, man. It's out of this world. Here we go. The pressure's in. The repull sends the nade back, but the heat wave gets the job done. Bid cleans up the next, and Seven has to think about retreating for now. These nades gonna do some damage, and the sniper from Bid teaches looks to clean up the rest. Tough spot, and this is where we're starting to see some separation in the leaderboard that we hadn't seen earlier in this game. And it's going to continue on as kills start to light up red in the kill feed. It's just Seven last alive, and that's scary with how those kills happen, because now they're going to be on a separate rotation. They're not. It's going to be so hard to get 4 players up for Lies right here. This is where you're going to see this game fall apart.
I mean, they do say the Slayers don't really start into that 30 kill mark, and that's Dark. End up putting some separation in the scoreboard right there, and they continue to add to their lead. Name dropping the people's elbow to get himself the killing spree as Lies end up going 3 down. Now getting trapped over toward the shotgun side. 4-man push out, but looks like the rockets are coming in. The nades are coming in. There is very little exit when the enemy team knows exactly where you're coming from.
Nexy's just trapped in the back. Parzelli, he's knocking on the door. He found the back. He cracks it on open. And that's Dark just cannot be stopped. And it all comes down to the rotation of kills. It's the cycle, right? If you're able to make sure that there's only 2-3 players up at a time, keep one on the respawn screen, it's so hard to fight back out of a Slayer. And then you put that with the static spawns of Empyrean, it makes it impossible. And that's why we saw a 2-3 kill game for the majority of this open up to double digits and finish with an emphatic win from That's Dark.
And That's Dark just looking for the final kill here. Sniper rifle finds the hands of Bid Teaches. He's just looking for that headshot. Gonna relocate just a bit here. No reason to give up any unnecessary deaths. You do see Parzelli pushing up over to the sword side, a double push onto the green. This might end up being the final kill, and there it is. Piles putting the 50th kill on the board. That's 2-0. That's Dark dominating the first 2 games.
Just incredible momentum at the end of that game, right? When they were able to get that 4 down, but they got the 4 down in a unique way. It was 1 player, then 2, and then a long pause. You get the 3rd, and then it's 1 player up waiting for the respawns. And right when the respawns are about to happen, they take down that 4th player. And what that does is you put everyone on a stagger, right? It's going to be 3 seconds till the 2nd player spawns up, then another 4 seconds on top of that for the 3rd. And then after that, you're going to have to wait another 4 seconds for the 4th. And when you get players into that rotation, you can be aggressive because of the static spawns, right? You know no one's going to spawn out of the map. It really creates this snowball effect, and it creates a win for That's Dark. And I think it's this moment over here where we start to see all these things change, right, Tony? Look at the kill feed. It's Nexy, Savin, and Kid Nasty alive, but finally this push is going to come through, and when it does, you're going to start to see the cycle.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a 2-kill game, 27-25, but then notice that eventually the scoreboard turns to, what, 34-29. Like you said, it just snowballs absolutely out of control, and That's Dark really start to just demand control towards the mid-game, and most of the time, you know, we love when games go close when it's 50-49, but most games are won in the 3rd quarter, and That's Dark proving just that. The one question I have for you is, that was a brilliant breakdown of what's important on Empyrean Slayer. What I want you to break down as far as old people in the chat real quick. What does That's Dark mean? A lot of us like myself, we're a little older now. Can you explain what That's Dark means? I see a lot of young people saying
That's Dark. You think That's Dark is a Zoomer phrase? I feel like that's a millennial thing.
It's a 100% a Zoomer phrase.
You think it's all
over the TikToks? I see it.
I don't know, man. It's just like you got something creepy that you want to say, something a little morbid. You just go, nah, it's kind of dark, bro. That's dark. That's not going right. That's dark. Why are you making me think that way? But I'm gonna ask the chat, man. I think that's millennial. I think that's your generation, Tony. I think that's definitely a millennial thing. My Zoomers, I don't think we lay claim to That's Dark. We'll take That's Dark. You know what I'm saying? We'll go down. We'll rent it out. We'll say, hey, thanks for the phrase, but I think that's a millennial phase for sure, Tony.
Well, we're gonna find out if this series is gonna get dark, because this could end up being a sweep here. Lies fighting for their losers bracket, ultimately their tournament lives right now. They lose this, they are simply going home and already starting off 2 down. Allowing Name to get away with the camouflage cannot have been a part of the plan. Getting wiped and losing Bravo within the first few seconds of this game could not have been a part of the plan, and allowing Name to have the most dangerous combination in Halo Infinite, and then running right in front of Gunplexion and getting backsmacked and giving Gunplexion the shock rifle ends up the double kill. Now that must have been part of the plan.
Ooh, Gunplexion getting aggressive too. And that's tough for his name. He just did not account for a player going long haul, which in the beginning of the game, so often you don't really see a player there. Gunplexion, he reaps the rewards because of it, was able to get a couple kills, but That's Dark, they're quick on their responses, not letting themselves stay down for long, pushing into every hill that they can. C looks to change hands, and Gunplexion, he has a couple players he needs to try to deal with. Piles the first one on the list. That kill goes down, a clean one from Gunplexion, and now he has to double back because the damage is still coming through. Parzelli gets the first, Parzelli gets the second. Nexy, can you survive? Oh, Nexy just is able to get away with that kill. That shock rifle shot a little bit to the right. We could be seeing a devastating runaway from that start.
It was the first shock rifle shot that connected. It just reminds me how dangerous of a weapon it is in the hands of these top players here. 17-15 lead in favor of that start. A couple of denial grenades come in, but nothing is gonna stop Big Teaches from breaking through the Seaside. A trade does come in, but Seaside is overwhelmed by That's Dark, and it's gonna be held a CB setup. Now you're seeing That's Dark pushing early for the trip cap. All of Lies coming up over toward the glass, but they have two objectives. They have to not only get kills, but they also have to take away two objectives from That's Dark, who were already set up on them, Garrett.
Hey, Tony, you know, I think we got a call from your cousin Owen somewhere over here. Hey, can you tell me where Owen's at right now?
Man, he must be in Florida right now. 0-4.
Oh, that's dark, Tony. That's dark. You can't be doing that. Oh. Oh, he's gonna push. Look at this from Piles, man. Just getting right into everyone. Killing spree for him. Finally, the nade takes him down, and we're starting to see this pressure. That's Dark keeping them on respawn. This trip cap could be devastating. Kid Nasty needs to go big at C.
105-15 lead in favor of That's Dark right now. Charlie finally gonna change hands, but the moment that Lies is able to slide down to the Seaside, he just puts a beacon on his head, letting That's Dark know exactly where he's coming from. But so far, no pressure just yet. That's Dark really allowing them to spawn up, daring them to push forward. Nades start to go in, so do the pings. One ends up going down. Kid Nasty able to answer that right back. He still wants to push over toward the A side, but the damage is in. Halfway done with Bravo, but halfway not gonna count.
Nasty gets his kill, but there's just not a coordinated effort from Lies, and that could be because this team's pretty new with each other. I think this is the first time these guys have really teamed. And but what we're really seeing is just an uncoordinated mess. A lot of individual pushes and not coordinating their efforts to break into a hill. We need to see more teamwork from this Lies squad, and they want to get out of this nasty chokehold that Stark has.
More teamwork. I want to see more points. They got 15 points right now. Does Lies, and at the same time that That's Dark is able to put 163 on the board. Are Lies even? Are they alive on the map right now? Are we playing the same game? Something needs to change. As Kid Nasty and Seven able to get back-to-back kills, finally able to take Bravo, which they were fighting so hard to get. That's Dark now forced to rotate over toward the Charlie side. Lies entering by taking over Alpha. Surrounding That's Dark, finally we're seeing some life being shown by Lies.
That's how long can you hold this, right? Great cross shots from Kid Nasty. He needs to keep Parzelli down as well. This is the dangerous cross that you can create. Evan has Kid Nasty's help. Kid Nasty has his help, right? And as long as they can keep that mid-map in control, they can keep that start back. And then what they're really waiting for is an opportunity to push for 3. Kid Nasty gets the opening pick, but he knows he can't push out just quite yet. Had to keep that A spawn for a second. Complexion's going in. Piles is the only player alive that can make some damage. And I think Kid Nasty, that's a lot of faith to put in on Gunflexion, and it's not going to be rewarded. He's going to have to go back, try to clean up both of these. Kid Nasty gets them both, and he's letting Bid know, but you got to look for the third young man. His name takes him down.
Hey, like you said, he's still a kid right now. You know, he got happy little out shooting. You know, he got a little overzealous. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. Seven making sure the tower side is clear before he's able to commit to the Charlie side. Double cap coming right back in. It was that momentum that was on That's Dark side, which gave him this huge lead to begin with. But momentum clearly has shifted over towards Lies right now, and I'm loving every bit of it. Powell's not able to find the kill with the shock rifle. That's Dark end up going 3 down. Once again, the power weapons change hands, and now another triple cap going in favor of Lies. They're clearly starting to get into their groove, and I like what they're moving to.
Look at these spawns. They're all in long haul. This can be devastating if they can find a couple kills and keep this spawn trap in works. You see the 2-2 split from That's Dark. They're going to send 2 players towards C, 2 towards the glass. The glass player struggling to stay alive, but Pyle somehow managing. It looks like C is going to rotate hands. But Kid Nasty, he wants all of this smoke. He's getting all the way to this trippy corner. He's putting down more damage. Parzelli takes him down, though, getting revenge from a kill a few moments ago, but the pressure's still in, and this Strongholds game looks more and more likely to be heading into Lies' favor.
was willing to put max damage, even willing to give up his life to make sure that that Stark ended up going 4 down. It's gonna pay off because they end up holding on to the triple cap because of it. So 1 life to hold on to the triple cap, and now Lies are quickly approaching that 177 mark. We're about to see a lead change. Meanwhile, Nexi's taking off heads left and right with the shock rifle. Finally, they're able to deal with them, but 7 comes in right for the switch. Lies have taken the lead. That Stark are 3 down once again. What has happened? Where was the dominance that we saw the first 2 games? Where was the dominance that we saw from that Stark throughout the first half of the game? Because they're looking lost right now. They must be in the dark.
A light might be shining though, Tony. Look at these rotations that we're seeing. This is a dangerous position for Lies. They have to find these next couple of slays, or else they're looking at another strong trip cap that could be going in the favor of Bid Teaches and crew. Try and get those players on cross. Name's gonna be able to get 1. Complexion answers back, and Bid, he's decided he's going through. He's gonna find 1, and Evan's gonna go down as well. Great play from him, and he's not gonna get too ahead of himself either, right? Staying back towards A for now. It looks like they're content with the 2 cap. As Lies, it's just so hard to break out of these positions.
You play through the double cap, get your slays, and then you're pushing for the triple cap. Fundamentals coming in out of That's Dark. Meanwhile, Parzelli off the screen, taking down Kid Nasty. Name gonna deal with 7. Bid Teaches just making sure that nobody's rotating throughout the tower side. Now the rest of the team being trapped over towards gold. And this series, like the way Tools gets dressed, is getting real dark right now. That's it. It looks like it's gonna be a 3-0. That's the sweep. That's dark. It got a little shaky for a little bit. Got a little shaky, but eventually they're able to put the nail in the coffin. Lies are going home, but not without making it a little bit exciting towards the middle half, I guess the halfway point of the game.
Yeah, really swinging the pendulum, right? It was like when one thing was going right for one team was going right, but then eventually you're gonna run out of steam and it swings back just as hard the other way. And really, I think it was just cracks in fundamental play from Lies in that strongholds that cost them. Recall back to when that Stark made the break. It was when they killed that player with shock rifle over by Dorito. And what really created that opportunity was the fact that there was a 2-2 split on the map. When the team's like trapped over in pipes, you want to put more of your numbers towards A, right? Because that's their natural out point. That's where they're going to try to slay out from. But instead it was Kid Nasty and Gunplexion holding themselves back towards C. And that's where it's a little bit tough, because once they lost those fights, once they lost their shock rifle player, there was no follow-up to get those trades. And it just allowed them to kick out towards A, and then the slays just eventually go to That's Dark, and Lies have to go home from this tournament. A great run from them. I think a lot of potential with this roster, but obviously some film review to recover.
I just took a little peek at the bracket, Garrett. I done found something. I think I'm gonna be interested in this.
Wait. So look at right here. This is the play I was talking about, right? So you're gonna see Nexi, he gets this kill, but you see how the 2 players from Lies are over at C? They just couldn't rotate back in time right there. And I think that's where they lose the game. All right. Other than that, let's go back, Tony. What's in our bracket? What's in store for us?
We have That's Dark pulling off the 3-0 against Lies.
Okay.
And obviously That's Dark having Name on it. They're going up against Proton Gaming. And I don't remember all the way back at the beginning of season 1, that first iteration of Oxygen Esports included Common, Haynes, who is now retiring but still playing somehow, Name, and Swish as well. That was the 4. So now we got Name going up against his former teammates. I'm ready for this. Okay. A little bit of a rivalry matchup. I think Proton Gaming might be the favorites going into this matchup, but I'm not going to sleep on Bid Teaches. Definitely not going to sleep on Parzelli. And Pals and Name are absolutely incredible, which we literally just saw them in that last series, 3-0ing the likes of Lies. This is going to be an interesting matchup, watching Proton Gaming go up against That's Dark.
Yeah, it's fun how the brackets, once you get to like further into the years, it almost feels like everyone has played each other once or twice, right? And then you start feeling like, ooh, who's played each other, who's here, who's there, and you start to get these storylines that